30 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday. We'll start with Dave, if you want to grab a mic.
Jack, is Gareth Southgate too negative, cautious a coach? Because that is a question that that's an accusation that gets thrown at him by fans, by pundits, and the question of whether you should start more matches always sort of is part of that debate. Is he negative? Is he cautious? Is he too cautious?
No, I don't think so. I think here, especially with when, like, if you're on about if he plays five at the back or whatever, people always go on about how good our wing backs are. So I don't see why you wouldn't try that. I think we have great talent all over the pitch, whether that be at full backs or centre midfield or even us wide players. I generally don't think that he is too negative or cautious at all.
You're part of that debate. There was one Jackson up, Jackson. It's always that he might be maybe slightly suspicious of Blair players.
Well, listen, I'd obviously love to play. Like I said earlier, every time I put on the shirt for my country, I give it my all. I'd love to play every minute of every game, but that will never happen with anyone, So, like I touched on earlier, I just try and perform, when I'm given the chance, whether that be from the start or coming on as an impact type of sub. I'm here for everything. I'll try, when I'm on the training pitch, I'll train and try and give the manager no reason to leave me out. Hopefully that does mean that I can perform well and be on the plane to the World Cup. That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay, Andy Dunn and then Jacob Steinberg.
Hi, Jack. You mentioned before about you getting a bit of criticism, a bit of stick. Do you think it's a bit unfair, the focus on your form if you have one or two bad games? I mean, I was just listening to Graham Souness on the radio, and he says you're a good player, but you're not a great player. You have too many touches. You haven't improved the last couple of years. I mean, specifically, what do you think about that? And overall, do you think a lot of the criticism is unfair?
I don't know what his problem is with me. He always says stuff about me, but I don't really try to. I try to read not a lot of it. Obviously, it's difficult, when he's on TalkSport or the Sky Sports, and it's everywhere around the training ground at times. But listen, he was obviously a great player, and won a lot. But I know he has a lot of stuff to. I don't know what it is with his with what he says about me or what problem he's got. I know my own ability. I know before that he used to say a lot of stuff about me not moving the ball quicker. But when I'm playing for a manager like Pep Guardiola and he's telling me to keep the ball as much as I can and he's have balls to take it everywhere. That's what I'll try and do. So obviously, I'm always going to have people. If I'm not playing well, listen, I know within myself. I always watch my games back and stuff like this, and I'm very critical of myself. I know that there was games, especially in the second half of last season, where I weren't at my best at all. Unfortunately for me, obviously, I come back in pre-season. I come back fit. Well, had a strong pre-season and then get injured on the second game. But that's what I says. From now on, I'm just going to try and get my head down and try and get that fitness back, because I know that I'm not 100% yet. I think I've only played 190 minutes this season. But yeah, I think I'll always probably have people on the back of me, but
Cheers, Andy.
try and go and perform. Jacob,
did you get mic to him? Pass mic along, sorry. Thanks, guys.
On a similar note to people sort of having a pop at you, it feels like you were over the summer, when it was clear that you were just enjoying yourself, that people start at times calling your professionalism into question. I mean, does that make you laugh when you're maybe just trying to be down to earth and sort of true to your roots or whatever, and then people start saying that you're sort of not fit enough and everything?
Yeah, no, because I'm just like a normal kid, I feel like I was just doing like what a lot of other footballers were doing, but just because I don't know. Sometimes I think I get more probably attention when I'm just on holiday in Ibiza or Vegas or something. But after that, then I was putting up photos of me working. I don't know if a lot of people spoke about that, but I tried to come back as fit as possible, and I felt like I did. I've seen the manager said that a few times about me, but yeah, I know that I know what I'm like and how professional I actually am, and yeah, hopefully I can just get that. I don't know, get my performances back to where I was, when I'm playing at my best, because I know how good I actually am when I am at my best. So hopefully I can get that back and get my fitness back as soon as possible.
Got time for 2 more because we need this room clear. Simon Peach and then Sammy Mogbell.
Jack, we seem to be speaking to you about scrutiny every time we do speak to you. How do you manage to take it in your stride? Because you seem to every time.
I don't know. There's not much you can do really. It probably affects my family more than it does with me. But yeah, I think it's just like we've said, so much is just part and parcel. I think nowadays, people do have so much to say, whether that be on like social media or pundits or stuff like that. But it's just part and parcel of the game nowadays. It's, in my opinion, the biggest sport in the world, and everyone wants to talk about it, whether it's good or bad. So I think you just have to, just go with the flow, really.
Something?
Jack, just following on from that, generally, do you have a thick skin, or have you had to learn to have a thick skin? Does it? I know you probably sit here and say, "Oh, I don't care. It doesn't get to me," but does it?
No, I think, I've had to obviously learn to deal with it.
Did it come naturally to you, though, or is it something that you've had to sort of having that mentality where you can just, I don't care about what he says?
Yeah,
I had to learn that.
Yeah, no, I think it's more, if someone was saying it, that, like say my mum or my dad or something, then I'd listen a lot more. But yeah, sometimes when people are saying it, whether it be, trolls on Twitter or Instagram or stuff like that, that obviously doesn't bother me at all. I think that's just like part and parcel with what we have, is playing for the national team and playing for big clubs in England. I don't think I'm the only one. I think there's quite a few, but I think we just have to learn to deal with that. But yeah, obviously, over time, I've learned to deal with it. I think when I obviously signed for Man City and the price and stuff that come with it, I knew, it weren't going to be all laughs unless I started the way Erling Haaland did. Then I think that's the only way that I wouldn't get caned. So no, I've obviously I'm not going to sit here and say nothing ever don't affect me, because it does sometimes. I'm a 27-year-old kid. So yeah, I've obviously had to learn to deal with that.
Thanks, guys. We'll call it there. Appreciate your time.
No worries. Thank you, everyone.